Hello and welcome back to Combat X with Alan Dawson on Swerve Combat. You can watch this on Roku, Sling, Fubo, Prime Video and YouTube. Joining me today is someone I go back with quite a few years. This is one of the most prominent fight promoters in all combat sports, David Feldman. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Alan? Thanks for having me, bud.
Thanks for joining us. Like I mentioned, you know, you and I go back. The first time I spoke to you was just ahead of your third show. And some of the things we were talking about then was just, even at that point, you know, there was BKFC 3, I think Artem Lobov was on the card, and you were kind of saying how much the sport had grown, even in 2018, because you'd sanctioned it, and it was like, you know, suddenly we had legitimization in this sport. Can you talk to us about what bare knuckle was like when you were a fighter?
Man, I mean, you know, look, this thing has come such a long way. There were no regulation then. It was in warehouses. It was in garages. It was anywhere just to get people to talk about it and write about it and want to know more about it. Then it evolved into a legal and regulated sport, and then it just grew. It was like, you know, watch what you wish for sometimes. Like, I wanted this to be the biggest combat sport promotion in the world, and it's not yet, but it's certainly on its way there, man, and it's on its way there fast, and sometimes a little too fast, but we've grown significantly. We put together one hell of a team. We got a hell of a roster, and we just keep adding to the team and to the roster. We're going to announce a major broadcast partner here, I think tomorrow, if not Friday, for our first broadcast deal that we're going to have, big major broadcast deal, and then we have another one to follow in another couple weeks. We're going to announce about 6 more countries that we're doing licensing deals with, that we're going to be doing BKFC events in. We should be doing BKFC events in 12 countries next year, and all the major states in the United States. So it's been a hell of a road. It's been a hard roller coaster road, man. You know, you when you get on a roller coaster, you know, you're scared. You ride it. It's thrills. It's, you know, it puts a weird feeling in your stomach, man. But at the end, when you get off, you're like, man, now what a hell of a ride. And that's what we've had so far, and it's been really fun. And listen, man, there's no end in sight right now. Really, I think we're 2-3 years away from being the prominent number 2 spot in all combat sports.
I'd love to talk to you about some of the key moments, because I was covering, you know, the very first show I think was Artem Lobov against Knight, and we had this whole kind of custom thing that we ran on Business Insider, where I was at the time calling it the bloodiest show in town. But then you went from that to Artem Lobov and Paulie Malignaggi, and that just seemed to take it to another level. We had the 𝐂𝐤𝐷iaz 3-second knockout. We had some really bloody women's fights with Britain Hart and Gonzalez, Starling and Sigala, the rise of Mike Perry, Conor McGregor. It just seems to keep on leveling up every single year, doesn't it?
You know, it's funny because you have to level up, and, you know, you have to outperform yourself. If you don't, then people think you're failing, and then you're sinking and you're sliding. So you have to just keep leveling up and outperforming yourself. And that's the hardest thing of this whole entire growth is, you know, what's coming next. And what's going to be the next thing that's going to get everybody talking about this thing. And we have a couple tricks up our sleeve right now. So I think as we end 2024 and go into 2025, we're going to level up again. And then we're just going to keep putting on consistent products, man. I mean, the one thing about this without leveling up is it in my eyes, it really truly is the most exciting combat sport out there. There's nothing more exciting. It's fast paced. It keeps your attention. You know, it's borderline brutal, it's bloody, it's really everything you want to see in a fight, and people love it, right? And the real cool thing is, I actually went over this today, is back in 2019, we were 4% women watching our events, and now we're 22% women. So it's growing in the right direction for the right people, and you know, it's a hell of a thing. And we talk about leveling up. We have a level up announcement, like I said, in the next day or two. And then we got some big signings that's going to level up. We got another new partner coming in, and we're going to round out this year really, really good. We're opening up another 2 states, and we're going to put on the biggest show that we've ever put on, a BKFC, in December of this year.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. Can you give us any indication what these announcements will be? Because this show isn't live. I think it's only going to come out mid-September. If you've got an announcement tomorrow, would you share it now?
Our first deal is going to be with DAZN, and we're going to DAZN it. DAZN wants to be the home of BKFC, and we're going to see if it goes that direction. So that'll be our first announcement that comes tomorrow or Friday. That's going to be 24 events with them in 2020. Starting October 12th, actually, in Marbella, Spain, will be our first show on DAZN, and then we'll just keep rolling it out from there. Then we have another huge platform that we're talking to as well, and we're in the midst of dotting the I's and crossing the T for our first unscripted reality show, and hopefully that thing gets signed, sealed, delivered by October 1st as well. It's just honestly, it's been unbelievable. It's been an unbelievable ride. It's been heartbreaking. It's been a lot stressful. It's been the best joys of my life. I mean, I've lived through this thing, the deepest downs I've ever had in my life. I lived through this thing, man. You know, it took, it gave, and right now we're on the verge of really cracking into mainstream. And like I said, being in an unbelievable position in combat sports. I mean, you got to understand. 1 block over here from where the office is, I got a warehouse, and I did 4 bare knuckle fights in this warehouse over here with 10 people in attendance. 10 people in attendance, 4 bare knuckle fights on each card, 10 people. Now, on December 14th of 2015, we'll sell 14,000 tickets to an event. It won't be the largest viewed event yet, because we did more than that at Sturgis. It'll be the most tickets ever sold in an event for BKFC. And then we move on to just bigger and better things. We have a huge announcement coming up in Italy, which is going to be an epic, unbelievable announcement. I can't wait to make that. And it just keeps going on. But I mean, it only goes on because really each and every person, you know, on this team works their ass off. They give their heart and soul to this thing. The fighters fight their asses off each and every time. They bleed for us. They're willing to die for us. And that's why this sport has grown so much. It's got an unbelievable team and unbelievable stable of fighters, and we're going to continue to grow the team and the stable of fighters and the level up announcements.
Even going from, you know, fighting in a warehouse, you know, from your point of view, you doing that, to, you know, even having that third bare knuckle show that I mentioned at the start of the show, going from then to where you are now with like a partnership with Conor McGregor and a broadcast deal with DAZN. This is just like, did you ever envisage this when you first founded the company, that it would grow this rapidly? Did you have that much confidence in the sport and your business that it would be here where we are now?
I had, when I thought of this and I wanted to get it done, absolutely. I mean, I thought it would be bigger than the NFL. I was like, everybody's gonna watch it. It's the biggest thing in the world. But then obviously reality set in, and I understood how this thing really, what it was going to take to grow this thing. But, you know, I would say right before the first event, I just wanted to get an event done. I said I dedicated 9 years of my life to getting this thing legal and sanctioned, and I just want to do one event, and then we'll see what happens after that. And then we trended #1 on Twitter, and everybody in the combat sports world was like, holy shit, did you see that bare knuckle stuff? It was unbelievable, man. You got to watch it. And then, you know, like you said, we did. Then we had the epic Artem Lobov Jason Knight battle, which everybody was like, this is the most brutal thing I've ever seen. But it was unbelievable. Then we had former world champion 𝐂𝐸𝐞𝐫𝐯𝐞 come in there. Then we signed Paige Van Zandt. Then we signed, you know, other big name fighters. We signed Ben Rothwell, and then we turned Mike Perry into a global superstar. So did I think it was actually ever going to get here? Honestly, no. Did I envision it? Absolutely. But, you know, it's hard, man. Like, people don't have any idea what it takes to build a business like this. They think it's easy. They don't understand. I watched a documentary on Vince McMahon, and I was like, holy shit, you do that too? Because he's like, you know, there came a time where we had to take these big balloon loans at high interest rates, you know, 28, 30%. And we had to do it to put on the next event. And if we didn't fail to make the payment, they would take the business. I've done that 8 times so far, 8 times. I've mortgaged everything, literally. Put every dime I've ever had in my life up. I begged my friends to do the same thing with me, and it's paying off now. But I mean, this wasn't about someone, you know, handed us a checkbook and said, here's 20 million, go do this thing. This was about, you know, we started out with $100,000, and then it was $500,000, and then we had to raise $1 million, and then we had to raise, it just climbed and climbed and climbed. And now it's to a point, you know, that's an amazing point for us, but it's going to get harder. I tell the team, this is exactly what I tell the team. It's hard, and then it's going to get harder, and then it's going to get even harder. and then it's probably going to get even a little harder, and then all of a sudden it's going to get a lot easier. And we're probably on that, it's getting harder, or it's getting really hard stage, and we're almost turning the corner and around where we need to be. Look at the mainstream acceptance. I mean, we got the zone now. We have another big deal. We've got the biggest guy in all of combat sports as our partner. I mean, it's gaining momentum. It's gaining mainstream acceptance, and it's in a fantastic position right now.
There's a few things I want to kind of piggyback off what you're saying there. Like, one was the legality of the sport and sanctioning it, because I'm in Las Vegas, and I've seen power slap events, and if we've got power slap or slap fighting sanctioned in Nevada, surely bare knuckle is next. I know you made a pitch to the Nevada State Athletic Commission earlier this year. Has there been any update on that? Could we see a bare knuckle show in Nevada or Las Vegas anytime in the next year or so?
Yeah, definitely in the next year. I think good conversation with them. They loved what we were doing. But they said with some of the things that they were doing, let's hold it off until the beginning of 2025, and
oh wow,
and they'll put a stamp on you and let's get you going. So I see us being there in the beginning of 2025, barring any unforeseen circumstances that are going to block us from getting in there. But other than that, I feel as though we'll be in Nevada and every other state in the country that we want to be in by the end of 2025, and that is just, it's a matter of time. It really is just a matter of time now.
And with your partnership with Conor McGregor, bringing him in, what's he like as a business partner in meetings, and, just his enthusiasm for this combat sport?
Well, everybody in my team says, all right, get Dave on the phone and let's close this guy. And I put Conor on one of the calls, and I was like, Dave don't need to be on these calls anymore. Let's put Conor on the call. The best salesman I've ever seen, educated, really knows what he's talking about what he's talking about, right? But he might not be a rocket scientist, but let me tell you something. When it comes to selling something he's passionate about, game over. Nobody does it better than Conor McGregor. And he's done that for us time and time again. And he loves what we're doing. He loves what we're building. He loves being a part of this team because he likes the team. Again, he said to me too, he goes, man, everybody works their ass off here. I said, they love it. So I always say team. We're a team right now, right? We're going to grow into where one day we're a business. We're just a business, right? But we're a team right now. And we really have each other's back. We push each other for greatness. And I think that's why guys like Conor McGregor and guys like these other guys I'm going to announce in the next couple of weeks, hopefully are really going to climb on board with us as well and want to be a part of it. It's not just building a business right now. It's like actually almost being a part of a movement. It's like just something different. We went against the grain. We broke down all the barriers. We went through all the speed bumps, man, and all the dead ends, and we found a way to find out the direction we were supposed to go. So hats off to everybody involved with this thing.
You and I once spoke, it was probably 4 years ago, after we'd already kind of established the relationship, talking about your events when I was at Business Insider. But I remember, I asked you if you could, have anyone in the whole realm of combat sports, who do you think would be most fitting in bare knuckle? And you said Jorge Masvidal. That proved to be quite prescient because he's since gone on to, establish Game Bread. Is there anyone you've got your eye on now that could, be the next kind of Jorge Masvidal? And, could it even be Conor McGregor? Because he's only got 2 fights left on his UFC deal, and, it seems like he would jump at the chance to getting, to toe the line, as it were. Who do you think would be the best people to kind of bring in?
I mean, look, who would be the best people? The best people would be Conor McGregor, would be Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, right? Anthony Joshua was, just did an interview and said, my first favorite sport in the world is boxing. My second favorite sport in the world is bare knuckle fighting. He just said it to the public. I didn't ask him to say it. He just said it, right? So there's guys like that out there that I don't think it's far-fetched to see some of the best boxers in history or the best MMA fighters in history take the gloves off and fight for BKFC. I don't think that's far-fetched. I don't want to drop all the names, but I think there's so many out there. But Conor McGregor, certainly, he says it. He says, I'm a player manager. I'm going to fight bare knuckle. It's just a matter of time. So him, like I said, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, any of these guys may do it. Who knows, right? I mean, I'm not saying they are going to do it, and I'm not saying they're not going to do it, but I think there's a good shot of any combat sports athlete in the whole entire world now doing Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. I really, truly do. And what's that say for our team, right? this small company that started June 2nd, 2018 in an ice skating rink in Cheyenne, Wyoming, with less than 1,500 people in attendance, and now we're selling out arenas.
Tyson Fury would be a great show because he's obviously got family lineage in bare knuckle as well, through I think at least his dad, and then I think he's probably even, I think there's been bare knuckle in various generations in the Fury family. So yeah, that would be I could certainly see him in your business.
Absolutely, man, it would be awesome.
Sometimes we see like, oh, who's the number 2 organization to the UFC, and some people over the years have said one championship, some have said Bellator, so they've since merged with PFL, but it really seems like nowadays people are kind of saying BKFC, even though it's not an MMA brand, and it's because if you're an MMA brand, you're always going to be kind of judged to the UFC, but BKFC brings something different to the world of combat sports. Do you feel like that's been an advantage that you've had? Not only were you the first one to bring the sport and legitimize it, but now you're offering something different. You're not a boxing company, you're not a MMA company, you're offering something unique into the combat sports space. And do you feel like that's been a key part of the growth, and being able to bring in fans, and now even more fans with the kind of reach and awareness that the partnership with DAZN will bring?
That's why I started this thing. I started it because I was promoting boxing and MMA, and there was no way for me to be really successful being a Me Too. I had to create my own lane, and this was creating your own lane. We created our own lane here, not just created our own promotion, we actually literally created our own sport. So it's a completely different lane. It's completely just different, man. And this sound, bang, that's it. Like, I'm telling you, when you watch it live, bang, you're like, oh, what is that? It's unbelievable. You've never heard anything like it, and the action is nonstop. It's a really, really fun event to watch. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship it is, and it's because we created our own lane and we created a difference. It's not another MMA promotion. It's not another boxing promotion. It's not another bare knuckle promotion. It's another sport. It's a whole different lane, and it's exciting. And I think that's why people love it, because it's relatable, right? Like, who hasn't seen or been in a bare knuckle fight in their life? Everybody in the world. So they get it and they can relate to it. And I think that's why they become fans of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and why they can kind of back it and support it. And almost saw a lot of guys envision themselves, like, say, hey, I wonder when I was younger, or when I was, if I was training, would I be able to do that? Right? And I think that's why they relate to it. And I think that's why it came from a cult following now to a mainstream following.
If you and I were I'd love to play God with you for a moment, and we just create like the ultimate bare knuckle boxer. So if I was going to say, if we're going to have the best ring IQ, best power, best heart, best defense, how would we create this bare knuckle boxer? I think for best heart, I'd love to have Britain Hart, because she's got the name, and we've seen her, be a dog in a lot of these fights in BKFC. Can we have Britain as the best heart?
Yeah, I mean, if not one of the best hearts, absolutely, without a doubt.
What about best power?
I think, deceivingly enough, he almost disintegrates people with his punches, and he can crack, and he did get knocked out though too, is Mike Richmond. I think he's got really devastating power. So but Ben Rothwell has shown that anybody he touches on the chin goes as well. So and it's different. Like, I don't think Mike Perry has the best power, but I think he breaks, like, he has something in his fist that's breaking people down. He just breaks them down. But I'd probably have to go with Mike Richmond as the best puncher in BKFC.
What about defense?
Defense, without a doubt, Bryce Henry. Without a doubt.
Ring IQ?
Bryce Henry has some really great ring IQ, but we also had Reggie Barnett, which was really, really slick in there. And, he learned it really, really good too.
How about charisma?
It's got to be Mike Perry. He can make any dull interview be an exciting interview, any dull fight be an exciting fight, probably any dull date be an exciting date. So it's got to be Mike Perry.
Yeah, okay, I feel like we've got a great bare knuckle boxer there. I mean, you've got the 100th anniversary show coming up, or your 100th show in general. You know, this year I just feel like you've been on a tear. You know, promoting in I think you're watched in 60 countries with the broadcast deals. That's probably going to expand even more with the deals you've got coming up. You know, what are the next what's your end of the year going to look like, and your 2025? What's the future of Bare Knuckle?
We've got Spain in October, and then we go to the UK, and then we go to Denver, and then we're going to announce the show. I can't tell you what that one is yet, but we're going to announce that one November 9th. And then we're going to Dubai November 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's a 3-day tournament. We go to Poland December 7th. The biggest show we've ever done will be December 14th, and I can't mention it yet just because they didn't stamp me on it yet. And then we'll finish out the year at our home away from home at the Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida. And it's going to be a tremendous year, and we've got so many deals we're going to sign for next year, so many great fighters coming on board, and it's going to be super exciting 2025.
But recently I heard that the BKFC was being valued at around $100 million. Do you think it should be valued more now because of these new broadcast deals you're bringing in? You've not only got the roster, you've not only got the market in terms of Bare Knuckle, but now you've got the expanding reach, you know, more reach than what, you know, when this valuation was kind of first reported. Do you think you're valued more now? Yeah,
we had that was pre-Conor, that was pre a bunch of stuff. That was actually about a year and a half ago. So we were valued at 200 at the beginning of the year, and we just got an independent valuation actually about a week and a half ago for $412 million.
Awesome. And do you think Bare Knuckle could even be an Olympic sport? You're talking about like it being sanctioned all across the states. Do you feel like in 10, 15 years we could see Bare Knuckle in the Olympics?
I think that's a tough one, but you know, we got breakdancing in there now, so
yeah. Who knows? With your Marbella card, I'd love to talk to you about my friend of mine, Oscar Willis. He's fighting Ben Davis. Is this another way that Bare Knuckle's kind of reaching new markets? The fact we've got two of the most prominent kind of presenters and reporters now ready to toe the line as well. Oscar Willis, I've seen him do a few good promos. I think he's got, you know, the charisma as well to kind of promote that event.
Yeah, he wanted to do it, and you know, we didn't reach out to him. I didn't even know he was really wanting to fight, but he said, I want to fight on one of the cards. I said, we're not doing the gloved exhibitions anymore. He goes, no. I want to fight Bare Knuckle, and I want to fight Ben Davis. And I'm like, he wants to fight Bare Knuckle too? And I'm like, hey, let's do it. Well, you know, first I checked the backgrounds. I made sure that Ben was training and, you know, was able to fight, and he is. And I made sure that Oscar was really training, and he is. So I think people are going to want to see that, right? Especially all the media is going to want to see that. So that's another little great addition to that Marbella card.
Awesome. David, really appreciate you joining us. That was Combat X and David Feldman. You can check out Combat X on Fubo, Sling, Prime Video and YouTube, and you can check out Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship on DAZN and Fight TV.